And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a two-player game called Phantom. In this game, you are an evil ghost who is going into a house to scare the occupants there. You're scaring them because, well, you know, I don't really know why. But you're going in to scare them. But there's another ghost who's going in there to scare people too. And then there's the people themselves don't seem to scare that easily. Let me show you how the game works, and we'll be back. Before we talk about the game, we should take a look at the packaging. It comes in a box that's made to look like a book. And it has spots for the cards here, but it actually has a rule book inside. And at the beginning, it has a story here that explains everything that happens, and it's in French and English. And I'm guessing that part of this was lost in translation because the English story makes no sense at all. From what I can understand, there is two different ghosts that are haunting the house. One is a Native American or an Indian, I'm not sure. The other is an evil English ghost, and they're both trying to capture people. I really don't know, but you're taking the role of being these ghosts trying to haunt people in the house. The game rules are also in here, and this is really problematic, okay? If you ever make one of these games, don't do this, and I'll tell you why. Because if I want to look at the rule book, I need to pick up the entire box. Every time I look in the rules, I have to do this. I can't. You know, I'm holding them, I'm trying to look at the rules, and you say, Vasel, you're complaining about something. No, it's really annoying. When you're looking to have to hold the whole box to look at the rule books, bad idea. Okay, well, the game starts like this, and here you have... Here's the setup for the game, and this is a fixed setup in a sense that you will have, there's 4 floors here, there's a garden, a basement, ground floor, and upstairs. There's a row right next to these where you'll be able to put different people who are going in the house. You'll put one person, there's Robert Perry, and he's looking kind of scared there, and they can move as the game progresses. Some ghosts will cause them to move from room to room. There's also some locations. One team starts with 3 locations, the other team starts with 1 location, and I think that's because you get to go first. Now, when it's your turn to go, you can pick any of the 4 locations. So let's say I pick the basement first. To operate the basement, I simply rotate it to show that I've used it. This helps you remember which location you've used. Then the first thing you can do is you can place a card. You're going to have 6 cards in your opening hand. 3 from a phantom deck and 3 from a place deck. And it tells that you can place those in an apparition. Now, the game has some confusing terminology, but an apparition just means you're adding them to your side. Now, placing a location is pretty easy. Each location shows a color on it. You can see here that the garage has purple, which means that the garage can only be placed in the basement. This electric meter, though, this electric meter, if you'll notice, has all 4 colors, so it can go in any of the 4 spots. This trapdoor has 2 colors, so it can only go in the basement or the garden. Now, anyone with 2 colors also has a symbol on it. When you play these to a spot, you will also be able to move ghosts of that type, and they will be able to come from adjacent spots to that area. They kind of draw people in. So you can place these and add these to the different spots on the board, to each spot as you rotate it. So on each turn you can play 4 different ghosts as you turn them over. Of course, you can only play places if you have the matching one. When you play a ghost, you can play as many ghosts in an area as time, you know, you can only place 1 at a time, but the number of ghosts in an area is going to be equal to the number of ghosts in all the places in that area. So these places that can go anywhere, you'll notice this one can only hold 2 ghosts. So if I put this ghost here and then another ghost here later on, I would have to add more to it to be able to get more ghosts. This one here lets me have 4 ghosts, so I could keep adding the different ghosts. Now, let's look real quickly at these ghosts. The artwork for this game is phenomenal. The ghosts are really kind of scary, freaky looking ghosts, however they did the artwork, making them look translucent. And there's 4 different colors or types of ghosts. You'll see here that this is a shadow ghost, it's black. Here we have a soul, and they have the yellow, and then the blue ones are specters, and then the green ones, well, they're just called ghosts. So we have different types, but each of these types also is a different category. They have special abilities. For example, when you put a charmer out there, he will add a character to this zone. So I draw the top character, and here comes Georgia, the little girl, and now she's in that zone that I put the charmer at. There are yellers, and they will move. Also, when you put a charmer, you can move someone from another zone to that zone. Yellers are the opposite. They'll chase people away. There are queens. Queens, there's one queen of each type. A queen will take one of your opponent's ghosts of the same type from their side of the board and add it to your side. The queen will attract them. Poltergeist will discard one of your opponent's ghosts. Invoker lets you take the top card and add it to your pile. And a squatter lets you steal one of your opponent's places, which could also make them lose ghosts, because if you steal their places, they may not have enough spots for all their ghosts now. So each of these has a symbol, and there's a card that explains what the different symbols do. So again, on your turn, you will rotate it and do all the actions. So you look here real quick. The first thing you do is you place a place or phantom card. Then you'll eliminate the vulnerable phantoms. Some people, like Robert, for example here, destroys all red ghosts. So if he moves to a location and there's red ghosts there, he'll kill them all. And then you check the terror level. What you're going to do after you're done placing your ghosts is you'll count the terror level for each side. That is done by looking at these numbers here and adding them together. So this is 1 plus 2. The queen is 1, but she's plus 1 for each ghost of the same type. So you can see that I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1 more, 5. So 5 total terror. And so if there had been a character there who is 5 or less, I will scare them, take that character, and get that many points. You can see it takes 8 to scare Robert to get 3 points. It takes 10 to scare Georgia. And there's all sorts of people who the game will have who you're trying to scare and get a certain number of points. This will continue until one person gets 11 points, in which case they win, or until all the cards have been drawn from the decks, in which case you play them out, and whoever scared the most people, or the most points worth of people, is the winner. The people in this house are kind of hard to scare, like I said at the beginning. I didn't mention, but if there's 2 or more people together, you can't scare them. You have to get someone by themselves, which makes sense movie-wise. But still, I mean, I can have 4 ghosts, woo, and people are like, yeah, whatever, I'm not scared. I mean, who are these people? They ain't afraid of no ghosts. But but even though I make fun of that, I think the theme is great. I like the theme of the game. I like the idea of moving from room to room and having ghosts scare you and different ghosts. There's the screaming ghosts and the enchantress. That's a cool theme. And the artwork is phenomenal. It's really good artwork. It has a good mood. And even though I cannot figure out this story at all, I think the story comes to life, whatever it may be. Now, the problem is the gameplay doesn't back that up. It seems neat. You play some ghosts and you're going to manipulate the people to different rooms and steal ghosts. But in reality, it just comes down to kind of a simple take that game. I still haven't had one where someone got 11 points. Because there's so much of, I put some ghosts out. Can't beat anyone with 1 ghost. Your turn. I put some ghosts out. Killed one of yours. Ooh, oh no, I put some stuff out. Ooh, took one of your ghosts. Ooh, and we go back and forth, and now the people are in there, and all of a sudden, ooh, I scared this person. Okay, and there's like no excitement in it. And it's kind of convoluted because there's all these different cards, and the different cards do different things, and it's not really that hard, but the payoff doesn't seem to be there. There's never like a, wow, what a movie you just made. Oh, that was pretty cool. No, it's like, oh, well, you drew the right cards, you get that person. And I've yet to see a game where we've scared 11 points of scaredness out of people. The game just kind of peters to an end, and the person who was lucky enough to get 2 people or 3 people to the other person's 1 or 2 is the winner of the game. So, cool theme. The concept is great, but it just falls flat execution. And it's hard to point to any specific reason. I guess it just... I wanted it to be more fun than it was. So I really can't recommend it, other than if you're someone who likes ghosts games and want to add this one to your collection. I think it's a great idea, but I think it could have been developed farther into something really cool. Unfortunately, it's not there right now. That's Phantom.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
There.